This startup is India's first marketplace for renewable energy products for farmers and rural households. AgriVijay aims to increase farmers' incomes and reduce their dependence on fossil fuels. To discuss how AgriVijay is empowering farmers for tomorrow, we are in conversation with the founder of AgriVijay, Vimal Panjawani. There are so many startups doing such wonderful work in this space, but I haven't really come across a lot of companies or startups doing something in the space of agriculture and also empowering farmers at the same time. I want to understand what led to the creation of AgriVijay and what is the idea behind it.
The innovations were happening in the renewable energy space, and everyone is talking about the climate change and climate action, but we are missing the single basic component, which is the availability of these innovations or the products at the village level. Being an agrarian economy, when you know that your 60% population resides in rural areas and they are directly or indirectly dependent on agriculture, and nobody is actually making these products available at the village level. It was 2020 when I left my job. My mom and me were sitting at home, and it was COVID. She said, "You have built many companies for other founders. Why don't you build a company for me?" I said, there is one problem which I find it's interesting. There is no marketplace of renewable energy products for farmers. So if a farmer wants to buy a solar product or a biogas product or a green energy product, there is no shop. There is no market. So she said, how can you say that? There are lots of agri-tech startup companies. There are lots of marketplaces.
Yeah.
How you can say that nobody is working on that? Then I showed her on Google that all the agri-tech startups were in input or seed side. Nobody is into renewable energy side.
Yes.
And even Amazon is not doing it. So why they were not doing it? She asked me, why people cannot do it? They have money, they have resources. So I said, there is a problem. The problem is adoption. So even if you explain 10 farmers today the benefits of renewable energy, they will not adopt it immediately. Also, there is financing issue. So suppose if I want to buy a product today, there is no financing option available. And the knowledge has not been disseminated about these products also on ground. So there is a humongous problem. First, you have to educate, then you have to make this product available, then you have to bring financing, and then you have to deploy it also. So my mother said, why don't we build a marketplace which does end-to-end, everything from recommendation to selling to financing to installation. I said, I think we got the idea. Let's begin the journey. And it was June 2020 when we registered our company. It was COVID time, and we launched ourselves in our first lockdown in December 2020. And I think since then, it's been a journey for us. We grew resiliently fast, and we are going to complete 3 years in this June. But we have already generated 1.5 CR of turnover. We have 75 renewable energy stores. We were appreciated by Mr. Gautam Adani over the Twitter for our vision mission. My mother, who's a co-founder, got a national award for the same. We were purely born and brought up by the government startup ecosystem, where Atal Innovation Mission, Niti Aayog, who are our parents for us in terms of bringing us whatever we are today. I think we are a pure homegrown startup company.
I think it's a brilliant initiative. And what is also interesting is that it is a mother-son duo doing this work. I think that's very inspiring. Congratulations.
Yes.
I also want to understand, when we talk about renewable energy products in the space of agriculture, there are two crucial factors to look at. One, how affordable they are for the farmers, and can they really withstand extreme weather events and climate change? So how do you think AgriVijay is fighting these challenges?
So when we started our journey, we found there were many challenges for farmers to adapt to the renewable energy products. So let's assume solar water pumps and solar inverters. So their biggest worry was, if my solar panel is stolen from the farm, what I'll do? So these small issues, they were actually bothering us. And even if we start financing, the interest component of the financing part is actually bothering the farmer also. So what we did was, we made these products available, affordable, at 0% interest-free EMI. So 3, 6, 9, 12 months of EMI was 0% interest, where farmers got actually attracted, and we onboarded them using this financing facility. So we brought free insurance against theft and natural damage. So where farmers is now protected, that if my panel is stolen, I can still claim by putting an FIR on the product. If my panel is damaged by the rains or storms, I can still get a claim from the insurance company. So that assurance we brought.
Yeah, I think that's exactly the kind of empowerment we want our farmers to have. Vimal, for farmers who've been using old traditional technology, it is sort of difficult for them to adapt to something so new. and so modern. So how were you able to build that trust and convince them to use such a technology that is renewable? And also, what was the response from their side?
So, see, I realize that education and awareness is the most important thing right now, because even as urban consumers, we don't know how a solar inverter works. How we
Yes.
can expect a farmer to be aware how a solar dryer or a solar sprayer will work. So we started educating through our marketing collaterals
Okay.
and our flagship business model, which is a renewable energy store model, a franchisee model, where any rural retailer can become a renewable energy store owner. They have their current line of business, which is seed, pesticides, hardware, etc., and they act as a knowledge kiosk or an education center for them, where 40 plus companies, 200 plus products who are partners on the platform, they educate them about themselves. And we also keep some demo products in the store so that farmers can actually feel, touch and feel, and get the knowledge about it along with the marketing collateral. So we started educating them with these stores, and we also set up a call center, dedicated call center, which is in there in local languages like Hindi, Marathi, Telugu. So we have a process. We don't sell the product directly. We recommend the product, and
Hmm.
later on, if farmer decides to buy from us,
Yeah.
he can buy from us.
We always fear the unknown. But with what you're telling me, I think AgriVijay is making sure there is enough information for the farmers to understand and then make a conscious choice, right? Great.
Absolutely.
Every journey has ups and downs. And with the kind of problem that you're solving, which is a huge problem when it comes to climate change, I'm sure the challenges have been bigger. So, what were the challenges that you encountered or you're still encountering while you're on
So,
your journey?
so I think the first challenge which we came over with was everyone thought in the industry that we will not be able to do that, because it was a difficult thing to do. Kept ourselves strong, and we gave 18 to 22 hours in the initial span of the startup, and we realized that lots of people joined in as employees, as partners, and the ecosystem started supporting us very you can strongly. And I would say that without Atal Innovation Mission and Niti Aayog, where we still use their spaces as offices in tier 2, 3 areas, I think that journey wouldn't have been possible, because I believe today, if anybody wants to become an entrepreneur, our startup ecosystem by the government, whichever is being created, it's very strong. If anybody
Absolutely.
wants to use it very, very fluently and very well, I think anybody can, make a startup a good growing company. And you can see we stand at a valuation today. In 3 years, we have raised funding, everything, despite all the challenges. So initially, we faced the funding challenges. We got our funding support from Startup India Seed Fund scheme. We faced the challenges of the working space. We got our offices from the incubator offices, which are Niti Aayog Atal Innovation incubator centers in tier 2, 3 areas. We got employees where, and farmers and renewable energy store owners wanted to meet us. So we got that problem resolved. So lots of, I think, challenges were there, but I think the beauty is that today, if there is a challenge, there is a support ecosystem exists. If you want to encash that, you can. Otherwise, you can sit and crib about the challenges or the issues you have in the ecosystem.
I think this is a wonderful message for all the entrepreneurs out there who are wishing to start their own. Vimal, I also want to ask, is there any impact on the farm produce when we use such renewable energy products? Is there a difference?
So let's take solar water pump, which is the most recommended sold by AgriVijay today. Solar water pump immediately brings savings on diesel and electricity, as
Right.
well as reduce the dependency on the electricity and the diesel. So today, if you ask me, every farmer has a diesel genset which he uses to run electric water pump, milking machine, shaft cutters, or all the equipment he has on his farm. So
Right.
when you replace everything with solar, it actually brings savings of around 10 to 20,000 rupees a month for a farmer. So if you analyze my savings, so let's assume my return on investment or a solar water pump is 1 to 1.5 years. The remaining warranty period, which we give 5 years warranty on pump and controller and 25 on panels, the
Right.
remaining years are my savings years.
Yeah.
So if I'm saving 2 lakh rupees a year on every year on my farm, I can utilize it to buying another equipment, do my daughter's marriage, or bring more produce, experiment lot of things.
Yeah.
So when this happens, there is a huge impact on the whole farmer family, I would say,
Yeah.
not just on produce. And depends on the innovation also. So we have innovations like organic cattle feed. So when you feed your organic cattle feed to your cattle or buffaloes, your milk produce get increased 3 to 5x. So that is an impact in terms of increasing yield, increasing income. So there is an impact depending on what kind of renewable and green energy innovation you do. So when you talk about biogas, it brings a replacement of firewood. So you can bring clean cooking fuel biogas for our rural women who still cook on rural, firewood today. So 66% of rural households still cooking on firewood, which means that there's a lots of scope of improvement. And also when we treat animal food and agri waste, where we mitigate the GHG emission of CO2 emissions, we are also bringing a healthy organic liquid slurry, which is enriched in nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, to be replacing chemical fertilizers which farmer is using, impacting the whole food value chain, bringing the organic farming, which we talk about, the sustainable circular economy or regenerative agriculture, which we talk about. So basic element, but a huge, humongous impact of the renewable energy technology you use at the farm.
So we're not just fighting climate change with this, we're also empowering farmers and making sure that they have this financial security, as you said. What does the future look like for AgriVijay, and what is the mission in the coming years?
So today, when we are completing 3 years in this June, I believe lots of work needs to be done. And since we are first movers, we are waiting for competitors to come in. So when competition is there, you grow faster. So we want other companies to come in, enter the space, similar, like copy our business model.
I think this works as an open invitation to all those who are trying.
Absolutely. I want many AgriVijays to come in. Absolutely. So I want many AgriVijays because as a nation, we are huge. We are world's largest livestock population. So just imagine, largest livestock population, so largest cow dung waste accumulated in India, largest greenhouse gas emissions. So when this happens, we need lots of AgriVijays to come in, to play their role, play their part, and together we grow and make this country Atmanirbhar.
I think understanding the needs of farmers, boosting their income and fighting climate change, I think what AgriVijay is doing is very inspiring, especially in a country like India, which is dependent on agriculture for its economy. I'd like to congratulate your team. You guys are doing a wonderful job.
Thank you. Thank you, Navya.